gosh.
She smells good. I don't see a bump anywhere. She's perfect.
It doesn't smell like Blake.
No. Ugh.
Hey. Hello.
Welcome to Beverly Hills.
Yeah, we Flawsome Talk.
Hi and welcome to Flawsome Talk. I'm Tasty Flo and this is...
Nelson Aspen.
Yes! We are here together. Finally.
Actually, I have not touched this woman. Magnus, don't worry, I haven't touched her since 2019. I think it's been that long with COVID. But the miracle of camera phones and Zoom meetings, we've been able to stay in touch. But yeah, we had a little lunch. I got a little lubricated before lunch. So I'll be especially unfettered for you today. And we're in my room. So thank you for coming to my room.
Yes, thank you for inviting me here at Four Seasons. And the thing is, this hotel is so special because this is like the Junket hotel, I would say. This, wouldn't you say this is like the
for
Junket
sure,
hotel?
for sure. If these walls could talk, I would tell you about Jeremy Renner out there on the terrace. I would tell you about Chris Hemsworth in the gym. Like, I stayed on the treadmill an extra half an hour just to watch Chris Hemsworth working out.
Wow.
So,
how much did he lift?
I don't know the numbers, but it was impressive. But yeah, this is the Junket Hotel in Los Angeles. And I would say, we were trying to compare numbers earlier. I would say at least 1,000 junkets I've done in here over the years.
1,000?
Yeah. Over 20 years of doing junkets, I think maybe 1,000 were here.
And in this hotel, it was almost impossible any day of the week to walk around here without it being a junket somewhere in some room on some floor.
And it was super fun for the tourists that it just happened to be staying in the hotel because, the elevator would open up and there, Amal Clooney is walking out looking fabulous. Or I remember one time we were riding up in the elevator and we stopped on a floor and they're the slowest. They're the worst elevators in the world. The Four Seasons elevators are the slowest and the worst. And the elevator doors opened up and there was Kathleen Turner waiting to get on. And Kathleen Turner, bless her heart, she would not want to get into a tiny cramped elevator, but she looked and it was full and she says, "I'll wait for the next one." And so she was a good sport about it. But yeah.
I met Justin Bieber in an elevator here.
You met him?
Yeah, we
what
were
else
in
happened?
the same, nothing.
Oh, okay.
He was standing in the elevator now. Well, I was thinking that's Justin Bieber. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
but,
it's a
but
great
your story
place.
Is cooler.
No, it's a great place for star spotting here. And from our junket days, of course, there were especially large numbers of stars here. But what's interesting is now that I'm back as a guest and just hanging out here, I was talking to a lot of the staff that I've known forever. And that says a lot about the hotel, that they hold on to people, like the same staff. It shows you that it's a happy workplace. But they said there are almost no junkets anymore. It's not like the old days. The studios are saving millions because they're not flying us around. They're not putting us in the hotel. And they found a new model, and that model is Zoom. There's no reason to spend the millions on the three-dimensional experience.
No, so we don't meet people in person anymore. You don't really do much.
Well, I don't really like people. So
Yeah.
I don't need to. I've met everybody I need to meet. That's not true. I'm just kidding.
No, I was actually here last week though, but it's been a while since I was here. And I was thinking all these, it was so nostalgic in a way to be back here because you have so many memories. And you were telling me during lunch your memory with Jeremy Renner.
Well, yeah,
on the balcony.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner on the balcony. It was like Romeo and Juliet. Not.
Could have been.
It could have been. From what I hear, it might have been, but it wasn't. I went out for a morning run and, I was all sweaty and I thought, I'm just going to throw my sweaty clothes out on the terrace. And yeah, I thought I had some privacy in my room. So I went out onto the terrace to throw my sweaty clothes on. And once my clothes were off and being placed on the balcony, I had no clothes on. So I have no clothes on the balcony. And I all of a sudden I see that somebody is staring at me from the next balcony, and it was Jeremy Renner having a cigarette on the next balcony. And I, of course, was immediately embarrassed and covered myself with my hands and went back inside. But I got my phone, so I came out like on my belly, crawling across the floor, so I could get a picture of Jeremy Renner smoking, which I thought was important to have. I don't know why, but
but you get into those moments, and the first thing you're thinking as a journalist is like, I need to get some evidence from this situation.
Jeremy Renner smoking. And I've interviewed. I didn't bring that up in the interview, but. He's kind of a no-nonsense guy. He's not very playful. He might be more playful with like a Jimmy Kimmel or something with a broader audience. But for me, he was never a very playful interview.
I did have a good interview with him once, actually. But now that everything that's been going on with him, I was really like, so much going on with Jeremy Renner. If you guys missed that, he was just kind of accused by this director or female that accused him of sending her inappropriate photographs of himself. And I thought there's something off about that story. I don't know. What do you think?
A lot of people speculate about, why he would be sending him to this particular woman as opposed to somebody else. But I don't know. I don't want to see your inappropriate selfies.
No, and I think what is, for me, when I hear the stories like this, I'm always thinking, what is her motivation for posting about this on social media? Does she want money? Does she want revenge? What's the deal?
Didn't they have an issue about the use of his voice?
Yes.
So they were at odds.
They were, but still, it doesn't make sense to me why she's doing this. And do you know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. Does that fall under the heading of revenge? There are laws against revenge.
But if you are in a consensual relationship with someone that's what he said that they had, and you send each other photos and videos like that, that's not a crime in any way.
Just don't send them. Say, you want to see it? Come on over.
Yeah.
See it.
Good advice, Nelson.
See it for real. Nobody wants. Well, you get to a certain age, nobody wants to see your selfies.
Well, we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure who I believe at this point, but I do I feel like since Jeremy Renner had an accident and he almost died, how does he have the energy to do stuff like this? He's in pain.
Who says the pictures were post-accident? Maybe they were old pictures?
Oh.
Yeah. This is what it looked like 20 years ago before the accident.
That could actually, I haven't done enough research on that yet. But since we're here in LA, and we're gearing up to award season, which is why all the actors, all the talents are out there pushing their movies right now, inviting people to a lot of screenings and stuff.
Sucking up.
You've seen them in action during award season. And we were just talking, or you were sending me this little news thing on Billy Bob Thornton.
I thought that was very good.
Yes, and it was very interesting. And I think we should talk about that.
Well, Billy Bob Thornton is not a hot property that he may have been, 20 Angelina Jolie years ago. But at the risk of sounding like an old fart, Billy Bob came out to say that he didn't think celebrities should weigh in on politics. This has been ever since Marlon Brando didn't show up to get his Oscar, and the Sachin Littlefeather, I think her name was, but the Native American who got up to accept Marlon Brando's award on his behalf to make a political speech. But Billy Bob Thornton doesn't think celebrities should be political. And I would tend to agree. Nobody wants to care. What was the girl from Hacks when she won her award the other day and was doing something about Israel and Gaza, whatever? Yeah, it's important, and you're certainly entitled to your opinion. But at an award show, is that the right place to do it? I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I have my own opinion as to what I would like to see, but that doesn't make it right or wrong. But I applaud Billy Bob for being the grumpy old man in the room and saying, keep it to yourselves. We don't want to hear it.
Well, first of all, I don't know why journalists ask actors about politics sometimes anyway, because we're not experts. We only play one on TV. No, I don't, unless I'm educated about something, then I generally don't give my opinion about it because that can be irresponsible, and sometimes people do listen to you if you're in the public eye, and if you don't really know what you're talking about.
I say Billy Bob for president.
Something else he said in that interview, I think it was on page 6, that he went on Joe Rogan, I think. This is what he spoke about. And then he said, if you want to save the badges in Minnesota or whatever, give them $1 million. And that is a good point, because I feel like all these celebrities that are, telling us what to do and what to think, instead of actually taking some actions themselves, because a lot of them don't do that. So,
Go volunteer. Go get on a plane and go where the action is, and do
then
something.
and then you can post about it on social media. But I feel like these award shows now, it's kind of that they're trying so desperately to try to find a purpose for them, because it is like they're inviting audiences in to watch them go up on a stage and brag about themselves and their colleagues, and maybe they just want to add something more to it to get some headlines. What do you think?
Well, I also just I don't understand who's still going to the movies. I mean, the whole system to me seems broken, because we were talking about this earlier. Like, I can't even remember the last time I went to a movie theater and saw a movie. We just all watch it on streaming now. And if there is something in the theater, if you just wait a couple of weeks, you'll be able to stream it and not have to go through the ordeal of getting to the theater, because nothing is as easy as it used to be. And just even to have the movie going experience. You were telling me about some climate control issues you had.
Yeah, my gosh. So I went to see a screening the other day, and I have to admit, we did go to watch the movie because there was a good reception afterwards, and we were thinking, okay,
food.
We'll make a date night out of it. And we went to the screening, which was on One Edition here at a hotel here in LA, a beautiful hotel. But the screening room was freezing cold. They were blowing out of the air conditioning as well. So my hair was just blowing through the whole thing, and my eyes got really dry. So I had to sit down on first row, and I was borrowing a scarf from my friend.
Are these first world problems like you have never heard before? I would rather be cold than be hot. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you rather be cold than be hot?
No,
sweating?
No, because being cold I think that's terrible. But the movie was so boring as well. So that's the thing. You're sitting there and you're being tortured by this freezing cold breeze being like blown in your face for like 2.5 hours. And then there's a Q&A, and there's always a journalist doing the Q&As afterwards.
My question would be, why am I here?
Yeah.
That would be my question. Why did I come to this?
And they always hire these journalists to do these moderating them, and they're asking the most incredibly boring questions.
Generic. It's generic.
Yeah. No.
Well, I don't know. It's a very different world now, and I'm kind of jaded, but you see the box office numbers. The movies that are winning awards are not making money at the box office. Well, I just saw that they put the new Superman movie and David Cornsweet up for Golden Globe consideration, because they want to get award buzz going for it, and what's her name, who was Lois Lane, is being proposed for consideration for supporting actress. And it's the new normal. Like, you need to find somewhere where creative achievements match box office.
Yeah.
And we tried to think at lunch, what won the Oscar for Best Picture last year?
I don't know.
We couldn't come up with it. But it was not a box office hit. It was a small independent film, which had no Hollywood credibility in terms of money. And that's really all they care about.
And the thing is, with these award shows, or to win an Oscar, I remember the year Roma won. You remember that movie? It was black and white.
No, that's The Artist.
No.
Remember the movie The Artist? That was
that was also black and white, but Roma was also black and white. And it was like a prestige project, whatever. And I remember reading that they spent $50 million on promoting the movie for the Oscar campaign, which was twice of what the movie actually cost to make. And then you're thinking, like, is it Is it worth it? I wonder how many people went to see that movie in the theaters, a black and white film.
Have you seen Roma? Have you seen The Artist? Have you seen whatever the hell won last year? I don't remember what that was.
No, I don't. How can we not remember what won last year?
That's the. Can you name any of the winners from last year? Unless there's a La La Land moment or some snafu,
Yeah.
you don't remember from year to year.
Previous years, like a while back, you always heard about those Oscar buzz movies, but I don't feel it's the same buzz anymore. Do you think so?
No, I mean, it used to be really. It would start with the Toronto Film Festival. Was that September?
Yeah.
And that was when the good movies started hitting. There were the summer blockbusters, and then in the fall you would get the really prestige films, and they would start at Toronto. I mean, I'm dating myself. That's just not the way it works anymore. That's the way it used to work. And you would go to Toronto, and Toronto was fabulous because you could do 10 junkets in 4 days and see all these movies and interview all these stars, and they were guaranteed nomination films. That was how it used to work. Now I don't know how it works anymore because I'm not doing it anymore. And it is so liberating not to have to worry about chasing that.
I know. Well, we were also talking about earlier, like something I mentioned in an episode recently, Sydney Sweeney, she got Oscar buzz for her latest movie. And then the other day it was announced, yes, that it tanked. It's like it goes down in history as the 10th or 11th like worst opening for a wide audience in theaters in American history. How is that possible?
She's unapologetic. That's actually what I like best about her is she doesn't make any excuses. She's not trying to please people. She doesn't vacillate. If somebody criticizes her, and she's certainly gotten a lot of criticism in the last few months, but she's unapologetic about it. And she's not rude or anything about it.
No, that's true.
She owns herself and is comfortable in her own skin. And I respect that.
Yeah, me too. But I do think, though, that it will lower her chances of getting an Oscar. And as we spoke about politics and the Oscars, I think there's a lot of politics involved. And I think if you had like a big controversy behind you, like Sydney Sweeney now does with that ad for American Eagle, I think your chances are getting a lot slimmer.
Yeah, well, maybe she'll be nominated just so they can, root against her. Maybe because that's, Hollywood's kind of nasty that way. Maybe they'll just nominate her to torture her and hope she loses or have a campaign against her, which I hope is not the case, but it wouldn't surprise me.
No, because I'm thinking, looking back, like, do we have any like openly Republicans who've ever won an Oscar?
Well, remember Clint Eastwood and the chair? Remember that whole thing that he did with the chair on stage? You definitely have.
I don't remember that. What
Yeah,
was that?
he did. It was a whole I think it was maybe the GOP convention. I don't remember what was the whole thing with the chair, but Clint Eastwood gave a whole very conservative speech with a chair. It was just Clint and a chair on stage. But I don't know why politics are so important to audiences, why the talents politics is so important, and yet it is. But we have an intense interest on their homes, on their makeup, on who they're dating, on who, so of course that would follow politics as well. But it's a free country. They can do what they want.
Yeah, but I wonder, because you're mentioning Clint Eastwood. I can't mention that many other, except for
Chris Pratt, Mark Wahlberg. I mean, I don't know what party they are affiliated with, but I can assume. And they seem to be very conservative stars.
John Voight.
John
Voight. And there's one more.
James Woods.
Yeah, that's the one. That's 5 people.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Scott Baio,
and there's some
Scott Baio, also known as Chachi.
I feel there's some closeted Republicans out there, probably.
Well, there must be. I mean, Trump didn't win.
No.
By a minority vote, he won. So obviously there are closet Republican voters. But hey, I was around in the 80s when AIDS was a thing, and devastating the community. And so sexuality, and some degree, that's not over either. But somebody's sexuality was so hidden. Now, political affiliation is like sexuality was then. There are just certain off-limit things to be hidden or disguised or suppressed or spun. And that's where we are.
Yeah, let's get back to this hotel again, because I want to hear about your first ever junket experience. Do you remember that?
I think my very first junket experience was actually in New York at the Mandarin Hotel with was it Natalie Portman? V for Vendetta. Was that?
Oh, I remember that
Was
movie.
was that? I think it was V for Vendetta. Was that Natalie? I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I couldn't even tell you the list, but if I were to see a movie, now when I see a movie, I don't just enjoy seeing the movie or remark on something about the performances. I remember the junkets. Now, when you see a film, you go, oh yeah, I remember that was the junket at the Four Seasons, or that was an easy junket. That was a tough junket. The food was good. The travel was good. Dwayne Johnson junkets were great because you would travel. So you'd get like an extra day or something.
Why would he always make people travel?
Well, because
But that is so true, because I always
we went to
traveled for him.
Mexico, we went to Hawaii. He had the big blockbuster
And Rio.
films.
Did you
I
go?
didn't go to Rio.
Oh my God, that was a good one for Fast Five in Rio. Yeah.
No, I did two of the
true.
Fast movies, and I think they were both here in maybe I did three, all in Los Angeles, and not so pleasant because of the other one. What's his name?
Vin Diesel.
No, I was thinking of The Rock. No, The Rock The Rock is the one with the good ones. Vin Diesel, isn't it funny? People are still mixing them up.
Yeah.
People like me, because I love The Rock. Vin Diesel.
Yeah, we spoke about
Not
him
so much.
before. Yeah. I mean, how many hours together have we waited for Vin Diesel to show up at interviews? So that is like probably a couple of weeks.
The thing, yeah. How many weeks of our lives were spent waiting for Vin Diesel? However, I will say, when you actually get to sit with Vin Diesel and they go, speed,
Yeah.
rolling, he's very charming.
Yeah.
You do forgive him
Yeah.
almost immediately
Yeah,
because
that's the
he's
thing.
so charming, but you want to hate him because he's wasted your time.
I know. I always struggle with that because you're so annoyed. And I think when I met him, we were at the Universal Studios and we all had to wear masks because it was COVID. So I was sitting there sweating all day with a mask on. And then Vin Diesel shows up. He doesn't have to wear a mask because he's a celebrity. And I'm like, are there different rules for COVID because you're a celebrity?
There are different rules for everything.
That started off being like a little bit annoying. And then, of course, when he was 7 hours late, so I felt like I had like I don't know, you get this sweaty kind of marks around.
Well, it's funny because I watch your show on YouTube and I love to read the comments, which are just as entertaining as anything else. And when we talked about Vin Diesel's chronic lateness before, a lot of people were like, well, I wouldn't put up with that. I would leave. And I have to say, yeah, that's great. And thank you for the comment. But when you're getting paid if you don't do the interview, you don't make any money. So if you're already there for 6 hours, you're not just going to walk out. You have to walk out with the interview. So you're in a really terrible position because I don't know, if you can't just walk out.
No, and then the thing is, like you're saying, you have to deliver, and also if you walk out, the publicist of that
then they're
person,
like,
they're
yeah.
never going to invite you back again. You're on the blacklist, and like, who do you think you are?
We all got stuck in Vegas for an extra day because Justin Timberlake, and it was for something like really hard hitting, like he was the voice of Yogi Boo Boo Bear or something. Like it was some ridiculous movie, and the junket was in Las Vegas, and he was so inconsiderate with the journalist's time that we all ended up missing our flights. But that must have cost the studio to not only rebook all our flights, but to put us all up in Vegas for an extra night. And no, it's not so like. That's not a perk. Staying in Vegas for an extra night when you just want to go home to your bed,
Yeah, and people have families, they have kids,
Not cool.
and then that's another thing that I always feel like, we're just at the bottom. We're like the bottom feeders.
Yeah, but we have good stories to tell. And I don't think I ever signed any non-disclosure things. Do we ever for junkets?
Then it's too late. Yes, definitely too late.
I don't think we ever were asked to do that.
I've been given not NDAs, but I've been given other just things.
Confidentiality about we always were signing things for the screening.
Yeah.
Like don't give away the ending or something like that. Or you're only going to use this interview for your show. So yeah, I mean, there were contractual obligations, but nothing's stopping us from saying who's an asshole and who's lovely.
No. As long as we were working in this industry, I guess a lot of people didn't want to talk about it and still don't because they want to get invited back, which, makes sense. But
I ran into a journalist here in the elevator just a couple of hours ago who I haven't seen since before COVID. And she's a regular colleague of ours. And I hadn't seen her in ages. She didn't recognize me at first. I have lost my hair, but still, I thought she would have recognized me. We were very close. And I recognized her immediately. And I think she was very uncomfortable. It was a familiarity that she wasn't expecting. I'm here for pleasure. She was here for work. And it threw her. It threw her.
What do you think it threw her?
I don't know.
Because she's seen you on my...
to me, it was a happy surprise. I'm like, yay, I'm seeing an old friend. And for her, it was like, oh my God, I'm working. Get away from me.
Wow. But I guess, when I do junkets, I get into this mindset, especially if you have 7 people you're interviewing in a row. And you have to, I always try to memorize the questions. So, you get this kind of more like a flowing conversation with people. And then I'm always in my zone. If don't you get in your zone?
I think I got over the zone a lot. I just wouldn't go in there. I mean, if there was something specific I wanted to make sure I would make a note to myself and I would have little cards. But otherwise, I would just go in there and have a chat. Your time is limited. I mean, it's a luxury if you have 10 minutes. It's a super luxury if you have 20.
4 is usually.
It might be 3 or 4 minutes. And I would love when the publicists would get all, beside themselves and say, we're really tight for time. You're only going to get 2 minutes. Like it's a threat. Like, we'll show you. You're only going to get 2 minutes. And I would be like, you know what? I can do it in 1. Oh God. I don't need the minutes. I need 1 minute. I need just to prove that I'm in the same room. I'll ask one question. And if I'm so much trouble for you to have 1 or 2 minutes, why did you invite me? At the end of the day, we are guests. The journalists are guests. You need the journalists.
We're here to help
We're
them
all trying to help
movie.
Promote your horrible movie. Sometimes.
Well, I was working very differently than you because I was freelancing for this TV show and they only wanted personal stuff. And to get to the personal stuff, you had to warm up people. To kind of sneak it in there, saying your character, in this movie after the divorce.
But that's why Reese Witherspoon's people wanted to eject me because Reese Witherspoon was playing a mother in peril. So I asked her, as a mother, they wanted, this voice from beyond was like, Nelson, ask another question. Nelson, stop tape. Nelson, don't ask any personal questions. And I'm like, Reese Witherspoon is a mother playing a mother. So let me rephrase the question. And it didn't matter. They weren't going there. But I find a lot of times this boss looks very familiar to me. I find a lot of times that if you just oblige the publicist and the publicist will say, don't ask any personal questions. And I'll be like, with pleasure. I don't need any personal questions. And then the celebrity feels comfortable and safe. And they will bring up something personal, and then you can seize on that. I mean, it's not rocket science. Just say yes. Whatever they want to say, just agree to it. Only get 2 minutes? Fine. Nothing personal? Fine. Where do I know this from?
Where do you know this from? Congrats on your little bump. I am wearing my most horrific interview t-shirt. I didn't wear this for many years because I thought it was really bad luck. because I did wear this.
There's no
in
such thing
my
as bad
viral
luck.
interview.
There's no such thing.
No, but you have things that you feel like, oh, is that a bad, something wearing that? Because, or if you had something like, every time I wear that, I have so much fun. With this blouse, I did the worst interview of my career. And so I thought it was kind of.
That was not the worst. You're describing it the wrong way. The most controversial interview of your career. The most awkward. You could say it was the most awkward.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the worst.
I think it was most painful.
For you.
Yeah. Not for her. They forgot about that.
I don't even see a bump. I don't know what she's talking about.
Thank you.
Congrats on your little bump.
Yeah, no, it was a painful interview, but, I kept this for like 10 years and it still looks nice.
When was that interview? What year was that?
16. So 9 years ago.
Like, what would happen if you went into a restaurant in Beverly Hills and either Blake or Justin were sitting at the next table? What do you think would happen? Would you leave? Would you acknowledge them? What would happen?
If Justin was sitting there, I would definitely walk up.
You'd buy him a drink.
Yes.
Buy him a drink.
Yeah. Or he should buy me one.
He should buy you a new home.
I would definitely walk up to Justin. Blake, I would definitely not walk up to Blake. I don't know if she would even recognize me. I feel like she's so busy with everything. She wouldn't even though she
recognize your bump.
Yeah, maybe. If I was wearing this blouse, I think she's watched
I wouldn't wear anything else. You just dry clean it every week.
Yeah.
I'd wear it everywhere.
Or Ryan. I'm sure Ryan recognizes me because I think that he doesn't like me very much.
Well, their lawyers would recognize you.
That too. I'm on the list of people with special. They just released a list 2 weeks ago now of a list of people they think have knowledge to the situation of what happened on the set of Events with Us and what happened in that smear campaign. And I'm on the list. So it's me, Taylor Swift, Gigi Hadid.
You should have a girls' weekend. Oh, well, you too.
Yeah,
you could all go on a weekend together. Actually, you should all come on my Irish trip. I'm doing that Irish trip in October of 2026. And I'm trying, we're starting to get people signed up for it. And what I'm trying to do is make it like a friend's holiday. So you should think about that.
Yes. So what are you doing on that trip for people who doesn't know about your trip?
Well, I've become, since my showbiz retirement transition, I've become I've always been a Titanic expert, but I co-host a podcast called Titanic Talk. I've written a book about Titanic called Kindred Spirits. And that's another reason why I'm in Hollywood. There might be a little Hollywood action on Kindred Spirits. Cross your fingers. We'll see about that. I'm not going to jinx it. But yeah, now I travel the world speaking about Titanic, whether it's on cruises going over the wreck site or at Titanic exhibitions and things like that. But I'll be in October of 2026 leading a Titanic-tinged tour around Ireland, starting in Dublin and ending up in Belfast, the birthplace of Titanic. So, it's just a great way if you've never been to Ireland or there are places you haven't been in Ireland that you want to see. And we all just sort of hang out together and we go on it's a 13-day extravaganza. 13 days.
And you'll be hosting this every single day.
And I'll be hosting this for 13 days. And we'll see how it all goes. I think it'll be fun.
How can they sign up to this?
Super easy. My website, my social media, Nelson Aspen, that's so easy. But there is a designated travel page where you can get all the information. There are special deals and packages and discounts. But yeah, it's 13 days, a whole bunch of different stops along the way, something like 18 meals are included along the way. There are extra packages if you want to extend your trip. This is a whole new world for me. And I'm really excited about it because I've always loved to travel. And now instead of traveling for junkets, I'm traveling for Titanic. And it's awesome.
And traveling for yourself.
Yeah, traveling for me.
Yeah, so. That's so nice.
And I don't have to shave anymore.
You don't have to. You didn't have to do that for doing junkets, did you?
Well, it's funny because one time I had grown my beard, and my executive producer of the morning show, who never bothered me, I was really left alone. And then I had the beard, and I was actually growing it it was September. I was going it for a marathon, and I was running a marathon, and I just wanted to be hairy for the marathon. I thought it'll make me faster if I look like a caveman or something. And he sent me an email out of the blue saying, "I'm not loving the beard." That was the comment, and I didn't know if that was, and it was the big boss. So if you want me to shave the beard, tell me. But I couldn't dissect what he meant by that.
Oh.
And in Australia, where I was reporting to, Movember is a big deal, where all the men grow mustaches in Movember. So I had told him, I'm growing this for the marathon. And he said, well, at the end of the month, maybe you'll lose the beard. So I waited until after the marathon, and then I shaved again. And I remember one day hearing my colleagues in Australia during a commercial break. I had the earpiece in my ear, and it was a commercial break, and I could hear them all talking amongst themselves in the studio in Sydney. And there was somebody was saying, one man was saying to another man, hey mate, are you growing a mustache for Movember? And the other guy said, no, Nelson ruined it for us this year. Because the boss had put a no facial hair for men policy in effect because of my beard. So
now I get it.
Yeah.
Why you really want to
yeah.
grow it.
Well, and
I love
my husband likes it, and I like it. It's low maintenance, and
I
so,
like it. It's
I don't know.
great. It looks so nice.
Tell us in the comments. I'm sure you will.
So we have to talk quickly about what you told me over lunch. I didn't know about this phenomenon that like washed up old Hollywood stars are attending these autograph.
She doesn't know about the autograph world of sort of fallen stars, but it's even not fallen stars anymore. It's become a mainstream
struggling
thing.
stars.
Well, but people want contact with their favorite celebrities, and for there is a phenomena where celebrities of yesteryear who may not have the work opportunities that they used to have or the fame that they used to have, yet they are a kitsch, nostalgic turn on for a lot of people. And I'm like that. I love pop culture. I love thinking about, the shows of my youth, whether that was the Brady Bunch or the Partridge Family or Lost in Space or Star Trek. So you want to see these beloved stars, Barbara Eden from I Dream of Jeannie. And so there are autograph shows, and the celebrities of yesteryear, they show up at these things with their 8x10 photographs and they sign them. And you either pay to attend the autograph show or you pay per autograph. And I have a few old lady friends who, they'll be signing their autographs, but they can't be afraid to get their hands dirty with cash. And they're like, oh, can I have a selfie with you? I loved watching you on TV as I was growing up. Can I have a selfie with you? But they'll say, that'll be another $10.
That just $10. That's
or whatever,
cheap.
or whatever. But that's how a lot of them survive.
Wow.
And it's not
it's
not just financial, but there's also a satisfaction. It fulfills them to be remembered. You can understand that.
I totally understand that. And something I've been thinking about, like especially if you are famous or if you were like a big movie star, aging is even harder. And I think when you're used to, getting so much attention and being on top of the world, and then people start forgetting you, that must be really hard for some of these people, because I think a lot of actors, they really crave to get validation and attention. And that's why I think it's so much harder.
Yeah.
For
It's
them.
hard for anyone to get old. It's even and sick and infirmed and have health challenges. But if you're famous, it's even more difficult because, we're all human. We all are going to get there someday. And Sally Kirkland, the Oscar-nominated Golden Globe-winning Sally Kirkland, passed away this week at 84. She'd been struggling with dementia, but she was being cared for by a fan.
Really?
And that's, that what happens to a lot of these famous people. You think, oh, well, I don't know, Brad Pitt, he's got millions and millions of dollars. He'll never be
lonely,
uncared for. But there are a lot of stars that don't have millions and millions of dollars. And so who's going to look out for them? There's in the Valley, there's the motion picture home where if you have enough credits, and I had an old actress friend named Carol Lindley who never had to go into the motion picture home. She passed away before that eventuality, but she used to be reassured because she had enough acting credits that she was like, well, at least I can get into the motion picture home. That was her insurance policy.
So that is a home for?
It's an old folks home for people in the industry, whether
Wow.
that's directors or actors or set designers, whatever. But you pay for it, of course, but you also have to have enough credits, professional credits.
Wow. All these things I didn't know about.
Yeah, well, don't get old. There's one sure way to avoid it.
Yeah.
Just don't get old.
Yeah, well, we don't want to do that either. But I do find that whole thing, and also, as you said, a lot of these older Hollywood starlets are trying to especially get gay men to take care of them.
There is a stereotype that is very true. I mean, there's a reason why stereotypes are stereotypes. They're because they occur often. But there are a lot of older ladies who are single who need help. They need an escort if they're going somewhere, or maybe they need a hand around the house. And you see a lot of these older faded starlets, like a Norma Desmond in Sunset Boulevard, but they tend to gravitate toward younger gay men who loved their work. They appreciate them. And that's the nice thing. They're fans who appreciate what they contributed to the art form and are happy to help. And I don't know, there's something good about that. There's something reassuring about that. There's always someone to take care of you.
Have you been approached like that?
Yeah, I've had a few older ladies over the years be very excited to would you like to take me to an event at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and that kind of thing. And it's fun. But there's a certain older lady who is no longer with us who actually wanted to buy the house next door to me. And that's when I was like, I'll sell my house if you bring your crazy town to my street. I can't do it. There's a limit. I'll take you to lunch. Well, that's enough.
I'll take you to the autograph show.
Yeah, I'll drive you to the autograph show.
Oh, that's so sweet and a little sad as well.
Yeah,
But
well, it's Betty Davis had an embroidered pillow that said needlepoint. It was in needlepoint. Is that embroidery? Is needlepoint embroidery? But the pillow said, "Old age is no place for sissies," because it's tough to get old. And Betty Davis did it with style, as much style as she could muster, and that's true for all of us.
that is a very good saying. I've been thinking things like that a lot lately. I feel like
You need more juice.
Yeah.
Go have a green juice.
Yeah. Oh, this was so nice.
Well, thank you for coming up to my room.
This was like the best
not-
reunion ever.
It's not like when I used to bring people up to my room in the old days, but this
And
is pretty
Jeremy
good.
Renner is not outside.
And Jeremy
but-
Renner is nowhere to be seen.
No, and Antonio Banderas is not doing pretzels
Yeah.
down in the gym, or Chris Hemsworth is not pushing, or maybe he is. Who knows? We'll see when
Amal Clooney in the elevator. They're all, Kathleen Turner can't
I
get in the
did
elevator.
see some celebrities on my way up to see you earlier,
Who-
actually.
Whom?
What's her name again? Breaking the Wave, Emily.
That hot celebrity, Emily.
I don't remember her name, but she's a great actress. She came out of the elevator, so it's still going on a little bit.
It's a
Aaron.
great place for star spotting. If you
Yeah.
come to the Four Seasons in Beverly Hills, and there are two, I've had this problem before because there's one on Wilshire Boulevard, and then there's the one on Doheny Boulevard. So don't go to the wrong one. But it's a great hotel lobbies in Hollywood are a great place for star spotting.
Good advice. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and thanks for welcoming Nelson back. I know you all
So
love him
fun.
so much.
She smells good. I don't
Do I?
see a bump anywhere. She's
It
perfect.
doesn't smell like Blake.
No. Ugh.
Yeah, we fought some talk.